We got the CES heavyweight champion Greg Rebello here on the program, who announced his retirement last week following his fight at Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. Greg, what's going on, man? How you doing?
This is it, buddy. Just enjoying the weather and hanging out at the house for the last week, kind of relaxing.
Yeah, you gotta take it easy after a fight like that. And first off, man, what a great career you've had. I know the retirement, it's not the way I'm sure you would have liked to go out, but how difficult first was it having three different opponents for that card? Because I think you ended up fighting Josh, who was like number 3 on the list.
Yeah, no, it definitely messed with my head a little bit. A fight's a fight to me, but I did my whole training camp training for a guy that was my height. So I didn't spar one guy that was his height the whole camp. So yeah, it took me a little bit to get the timing down, but I don't know, it was a weird fight. Obviously he's tall, so it was hard for me to get the range going down. And I still, it's over with now, but I still thought Herb stopped it early. I didn't go out. I knew what was going on. I kind of sat there and I looked at him like, man, why did you stop the fight? I'm fine. He hit me with a good shot. He threw that spinning back kick and I thought he was throwing it again, and he actually came with a spinning back fist, and that's what caught me. But it was more kind of the element of surprise, you know what I mean? I didn't go out, I wasn't hurt, I was fine, but it is what it is, man, you know what I mean? Everything happens for a reason, so I didn't cry about it. And I was happy for him. He's a young kid, so, one door closes and another one opens for him, man, so I was happy for him.
I know it's annoying to talk hypotheticals, but let's say you did win and you got the contract. Realistically, how much longer did you think you would have been fighting, just with the fact that, you're getting up there just like the rest of us?
Honestly, I probably would have done maybe a couple of fights. If I would have went to the UFC and got a win, I wouldn't have been surprised if I walked away then, Obviously, that was the goal when I first started, but I knew, I'm still healthy, and I don't have a lot of miles on me like a lot of the guys do, and I like to keep it that way, So it was tough, it was definitely a tough night, man. Right when that happened, I was pretty pissed off, and I kind of stormed out of the arena before I'm obviously not gonna do anything stupid. I'm not 12 years old, but it was definitely tough. I was like, all right, I just want to get to Vegas. I want to get back home. It is what it is, man. But if you look at most of the guys in the sport, man, for 99.9% of them, James Lynch, it ends bad. It really does. If you look at, Vitor, look at name any fighter, Johnny Hendricks, look at all these guys. There's a close few. Hopefully George St. Pierre walks away because, guys like him, even a guy like Banana, if you can go out like that, man, just go out like that. You know what I mean? Because for 99% of us, it does end bad, and I knew that, and I don't care. It's fine with me. I think my dad wants me to do another one. I think he wants me to go out and do one more with CES because he wasn't in Vegas. He didn't get to see me fight. So we'll see what happens. As of right now, I'm not really thinking about it, but I know he wants me to do one more. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, the win, it's fresh too. We're talking a week ago today, so there's still, we'll see what happens there. It's tough to go out like Ray Bork, is it not? To go out on top. So there you go. There's a good reference. One of the things I really thought was cool was the feedback you got on social media. One of the things that I've always kind of known about you, you're very well respected in the industry. I saw Pat Miletich had a really nice tweet directed your way. What was some of the feedback like after that fight? Because again, you've really sort of, a lot of people really respect you.
Yeah, well, it was all positive for me. I think Dennis Piva called me right after, and he's like, "Man, I thought you died from telling by Twitter. You would have thought you were dead. I didn't know. You all right?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm fine." But yeah, it was cool. It's positive. It's cool to see the people care. And again, I've been in this sport since 2005 was my first fight. You know what I mean? And I work with a lot of these guys that still currently fight. And I still work with a huge group of guys that are all going to be in the UFC, and they're all going to make it further than I did. You know what I mean? And I'm pumped about that. So yeah, it's cool to see. You know what I mean? Everybody kind of reach out to me. It was cool. You know what I mean? It kind of made it a little bit easier to deal with, especially with the fighters, because they all know. A few of the fighters that I know hit me up and they were like, "Man, I've been there, man. It sucks, and I've been there before too. You know what I mean? I was there last summer. That's why Vegas is my Bermuda Triangle, man. I can't get out of that place. But it is what it is, man. It was a fun experience. I'm not going to change anything. It wasn't ideal, 3 different opponents in 3 days, but it is what it is, man. This is a part of the sport.
Yeah, it's tough to be lucky in Vegas, as they say, right? So it's one of those things. You retire with a 24-9 record, which is a great record. For anyone to not, to get over 20 wins is a record in itself. Looking back, what's sort of the most memorable fight, maybe memorable experience that you have? Was it winning the CES title, or is there something else that stands out?
Yeah, that's right up there. I don't know. I had a lot of fun fights over the years. a lot of good knockouts, man, and stuff like that. Those are always memorable. But I would probably say winning the title. A lot of my friends and family came out for that. Um, so yeah, it was pretty cool for everybody to kind of be in the cage after the fight, and I mean, not everybody saw that, but it was pretty cool. Me and like my dad, my uncle Louis, who's 90 years old, showed up, and we dragged him in the cage after the fight. So it was pretty cool to have my family there and kind of my teammates and everybody. We enjoyed it. So I'll probably say winning the CES title.
Do you ever think back to the Ultimate Fighter, the Josh Bryant fight? Maybe if that would have gone the other way, how things could have been a little bit different. Because I really think one of the biggest crimes is that we never saw you on the Ultimate Fighter, like in the season.
Yeah, no, I mean, because I definitely would have been a much better TV personality than probably any of you guys on that show.
Yeah, it's true.
But it was tough, man, because I remember losing that fight, and I remember Jamie Campione was like, "Hey, they really liked you. Try not to gain too much weight, and you could be one of the guys that comes back because Kamosi broke his jaw, so they ended up bringing back Seth Basinski. But she's like, you're one of the guys that they were thinking about bringing back too. But 85 was not for me. I mean, I weighed in at 185, and when I walked into the UFC cage, I was like 217.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, and then the day after that, I was already back to 230, 225, 230. So for me, I kind of looked at her and I was like, yeah, well, it's going to take me another probably 6 weeks to even get down there and even close. So, yeah, 185 was really hard, man, for me to make that weight because a lot of people are like, damn, you made it 185, but they don't realize how much of a mental struggle it was for me. I mean, if you would have saw the amount of food that I ate, you would have been like, how the hell did you survive off of that? And I did it for like months and months and months on end to try to get down. I remember when I landed the plane. I was still 207, something like that. And I literally sat in a sauna for 2 days. And I made it 185. And it was brutal, man.
That's crazy. It's crazy to look back on that. So we know coaching is something that you're really big into. I mean, we've talked about this before. Some of the guys that you've sort of brought through the wings and everything like that. Is that the plan, or is there also looking at doing some commentary work? I know you've done some stuff on the local scene as well.
Yeah, I did. I actually commentated the last Lion fights they had at Mohegan Sun. So they have a show coming up at the end. I actually saw Scott Kent in Vegas. He was there. And yeah, so hopefully maybe I'll get to do that again. And yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of guys fighting on the CES in August. I'm going to be helping out Nate Andrews and Fabio Chiron's fighting again. Tommy Davis is fighting again. So I got my work cut out for me for the next few months. And then Cody Norby's coming back in October.
Oh, nice.
He wants to get, he's obviously been over in Afghanistan, so he wants to get right back in the mix, probably at 135 and then go down to 25 again. So
yeah, that'll be interesting because he was looking really good before he left.
He was good. Yeah, he was doing really well with us, and I think him and Nate Andrews are going to be the next two guys probably to go to the UFC. From CES. So I'm looking forward to working with those guys.
Today is July 3rd. We had NHL Free Agency a couple days ago. Just your overall thoughts on the Bruins, signing John Moore and a few other signings there too.
So apparently, John Moore is going to replace Torrey Krug, and their plan is to trade Torrey Krug to Columbus for Panarin.
Okay.
That's the word on the street. And Panarin works. He's a winger. But Moore, I mean, come on. Like, that guy, he probably worked at Sears before he played hockey. Like, I don't know what we're going to do with him. I mean, signed him for 5 years. I think we got him for cheap, so it's not a bad price. But I don't know what they're doing, man. It really broke my heart with the Jonathan Tavares thing. But it was kind of cool seeing the picture he put up of him sleeping in Toronto Maple Leafs blankets as a kid. So obviously it's going to be pretty special for him, man. So I'm happy for him. But it broke my heart, man. Jonathan Tavares in a Bruins jersey would have been pretty sweet. You know?
It would have, but I was surprised that he came here because, a couple of years ago we had Stamkos, well, could have signed with the Leafs and he chose not to. I'm sure the media pressure and all that, but Tavares is running with it. The only thing I worry about is, he's not a media guy. So, it's a tough market to play in. Just ask Phil Kessel. So we'll sort of see what happens there, but we'll see what happens. They still need some defense. I think the goaltending needs some work, but.
And they got rid of Van Riemsdyk, right? He went to Philly.
Right, he signed with Philly, yeah.
Philly. So he fills that gap. I think it makes them a better team. I mean, how much better? I don't know. We'll find out. But I'm scared for the Bruins. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to go on. I've been quiet on Twitter because I don't even want to say anything because I can't say anything because the moves that they've made have not been up to par, I guess, with what all the people are thinking.
Well, Vancouver's still doing worse, man. What's so funny? So Jim Benning says that we can only get, guys for more, 4-year deals. And then you see like Nick Dowd get signed with the team for like 2 years. And it's like, that's not true, man. Like they're signing fourth liners for 4 years. We need leadership, but you can get fourth guys any point in the season. It's crazy.
You can get him anywhere. You can sign him on the CS fight roster. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Bring back, whoever. Alex Burrows they should have brought back if they wanted leadership. He was on waivers.
He was another guy that I would like the Bruins to put on their fourth line. He'd probably be on our second line right now, actually, to be honest.
You think he would ever play for the Bruins after the history with him and Marchand? I don't know, man.
Money talks, man. Especially a guy getting up at that age. How many teams are going to sign him? And the Bruins like players like Alex Burrows.
But I could see Marchand stepping in and being like, no, we can't have, because they hated each other, man. That was really personal. So who knows though? I mean, we've seen stranger things happen with teammates and stuff. So that's interesting. But I'll be keeping an eye out. I saw you guys also got Yaroslav Halak to back up Rask, I think, right?
Yeah. Halak. We signed some kid Wagner from BC.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to sign Mark Recchi and a Ginler again. Like it's just that's pretty much kind of. I feel like that's what we do every time. You know what I mean? We look for these old veterans that were in their primes. Watch them get Lucic back. He's going to come back. I guarantee it. Here it comes. It's frustrating, but what are you going to do? You know what I mean?
All right, man. Well, Greg, congratulations on the career if this is it. Again, MMA retirements, you never know, but you've had quite the career, man. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, where they can talk some trash to you, and, obviously, any sponsors, anything like that you want to plug, man, the floor is yours.
Yeah, my Instagram is GRibsMMA23, and more importantly, my Twitter is GRebello73, because that's the one where I do the most crap talking and kind of have the most enjoyment with guys like you and Nolan King and all them guys talking about sports and fights, man. It's nothing better than that, man. So thank you, James Lunch, man.
What's up, fight fans? If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to see even more interviews with your favorite UFC and Bellator fighters. We've also got coverage at events, including post-fight press conferences and media scrums. And if you like this video, check out the video to my right. It's worth your time.